Factoring a difference of squares is another one of those things that you can do the long way, but there's a shortcut. And a difference of squares happens when you've got a difference, meaning a subtraction sign, of two perfect squares. So our perfect squares in this first problem are m squared and 64. And they're perfect squares because I can take the square root of both of them. The square root of m squared is just m, and the square root of 64 is 8. So because these are both perfect squares, and because I am subtracting them, I can do difference of squares. Now, the long way to do this is because there is no just plain m in the middle, I could rewrite this as m squared plus 0m minus 64. And then I can go straight to my two parentheses, and I'm looking for two numbers that when I multiply them, I get negative 64, but when I add them, I get 0. So if I multiply to get a negative, that's a positive and a negative. And if I add them and I get 0, it means they have to be the same number, right? One positive and one negative, but the same number is how I get 0. So it'd be positive 8 and negative 8, right? So there's the answer. But there's a shortcut to doing this if they are both perfect squares, because what I can do is, since I know that the last number is a negative, I know that I'm going to have one set of parentheses that's plus and one that's minus. I know both set of parentheses have to start with m because I've got m squared. And then the square root of 64 is 8, so I know it's going to be plus 8 minus 8. And so I can just go straight to the answer. And this works anytime you have a difference, meaning a subtraction, and the first and last terms are perfect squares, meaning I can take the square root of them. It doesn't work if it's a sum at all. It has to be a difference. So let's try it right here with 16y squared minus 81z squared. So this is a difference because there's a minus sign in the middle, and they're both perfect squares. 16y squared, those are both perfect squares. The square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of y squared is y. So both parentheses are going to start with 4y. And 81z squared is also a perfect square. The square root of 81 is 9, and the square root of z squared is z. And because there's a minus sign in the middle, I'll have one plus and one minus, because that's the only way I can multiply those last terms together and get negative 81z squared. So that is the answer. So this is a really quick, fast way to get our two factors if we have a difference of perfect squares. We can go straight from the problem to the answer if we recognize that the first and last terms are perfect squares, meaning terms that we can take the square root of.